Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 4 of the anime series Show by Rock. And I really enjoyed this episode once again. I like that we're carrying along with the theme, as I was talking about in the previous episode discussion video, that these girls are bridging, their relationships, basically their friendships, and you have Maple and Angelica basically seeing the same thing going on. They're becoming more vocal between themselves, and we even have Reitetsu, sort of trying to break out of her shell by offering each of the girls tickets to this show. You have this band coming in from the Far East, and they have sort of a pseudo-traditional, more traditional Far East or Japanese sound. When they start playing, it kind of reminded me like the plucking of the guitar strings of sort of, Japanese classical dirges or like a kabuki performance, that kind of situation. And then, of course, it ramps up into a more pop-like song and everything. And we have their full performance. I was actually surprised to see that their sort of manager or whatever, their mascot, their master, it looks like this giant cat ball thing. And turns out there's a girl inside it, and so it's a trio of girls essentially, and it basically perplexes the foursome that is Plasmagica. Like, what exactly is drawing people to them? Is it their original sound, their original look, the kinds of songs they're singing? And they kind of mismatch and misinterpret exactly what it is that draws, the audiences to this particular group. You have Reitetsu basically putting forth the idea that we should all have, outfits and styles, or maybe it was Choo-Choo who came up with the idea, but the point being, we should all have our own unique styles that speaks to our originality. And you have Choo-Choo coming out in an almost, Playboy bunny outfit, basically. You have Reitetsu trying on almost a, uniform sort of look. They put Xian in this sort of t-shirt and undies situation, and she's, meowing. And I think the funniest of all is Moa's, because she's, in the end, she's wearing the mask and she's doing this ominous, villainous laughter and all that kind of stuff. Each one of them being cute and sort of off the wall, all the different kinds of outfits they're trying for and everything. And then you find out this has all been going on in Angelica's little sort of tavern, pub, whatever you want to call it. And Shingen Crimson's, the main three guys, are sitting at the bar trying to pretend not to be watching. And, the girls want their opinion on everything that they're wearing, and they're just really embarrassed and all that. Finally, Ram comes in, and he gets utmost aggravated that the girls would think it has something to do with their appearance, and that it has something to do with how can we become popular rather than, perfecting the music. What is the central focus of a band to begin with? And once again, we're sort of touching upon the history Ram has with that rival sort of head guy of that other band, because they meet in a dark alley, and there's some words exchanged between them. This guy kind of challenges Ram, and Ram goes to punch him, and I guess he moved swiftly out of the way, like he ducked the punch or something, because Ram then says, well, you haven't really lost it, you haven't gone soft. There's a friendly rivalry between them, and I wouldn't be surprised if we find out they're brothers or something, or that Ram had been in this cat's band, or they had been in a previous band together, and this guy moved on, and they maybe had that same kind of outlook that is so upsetting to Ram about popularity and looking a certain way and that kind of thing. Maybe losing focus on the music, and the artistry of the craft, all that kind of stuff. It remains to be seen, of course. And then, of course, Shingen Crimson's, the rest of the guys, catch up with Ram, and luckily that guy, takes off before they can actually see what was going on. And I love that we leave off with Plasmagica. They all come together and they decide, what, since Xian has become involved with us, we haven't written a new song. It seemed like they were, tweaking some of the songs they already had in existence in previous episodes, and they really haven't constructed a new song. And I thought, actually, that Shion was maybe writing a song in the previous episode. Maybe that'll come to the fore when they next play. I don't exactly know. Or maybe they will all collaborate and create a brand new song together as a foursome. And I kind of like the little cap at the end because, I think Moa is probably one of my favorites of this particular cast of characters, and it all, as I've said before, has to do with that very Yudachi from KanColle, like saying Piru, whereas it's Poi in KanColle, it's Piru in this show, and she's an alien, she's very much homesick, is sort of the flavor threaded throughout this entire episode, because of course the Far Eastern calling back to their hometown that this band was doing, and the idea of longing to go home and longing to return home, but also the new horizons. This band came to Midi-City. They've traveled, and that's effectively what Moa has done. She's come to this place, far distraught from her home planet or home world or whatever. And she got a message from her mother basically wishing her well, sending her, her favorite food or whatever it is, thinking, she's probably having trouble ingesting the native culture food and everything. And I just thought that was a really nice little soliloquy to be able to be learning more about these girls as we take every step forward. Reitere's history, trying to find friends and feeling out of place and starting to come out of her shell. Shien's being a mystery to, most notably Choo-Choo in this episode. Why doesn't she know about, these places we're going to be playing at and these famous bands that she should be familiar with? What has been going on with her is Choo-Choo's most desired question. And now to find out more about Moa, and like I say, it was hilarious finding out that her claims to have been an alien were true to begin with. But then they add that sort of almost Starfire-esque for DC Comics fans, longing from the Teen Titans cartoon that she had of going home, and certain fears to do with other, members of her alien race coming to Earth and all that kind of stuff. And we have similar worries and fears with Moa. What if they send some more of my species down? There could be trouble, is her fears. And but she's still homesick, even though she wants to be able to continue this adventure. So I just thought it was really awesome. And of course we leave off with certain ominous aspects, this Dr. Claw-like villain character being very much obsessed with Shion, and it seems like everyone knows who she is. Everyone seems to have an idea why she's here, that it's all about powering up with her guitar, which incidentally we find out she actually forgot to take back to her room with her. She left in the sort of practice room or whatever. And because Maple comes out of there sort of sauntering and everything, I started to fear maybe something was up with that. Like, could any words have exchanged between her, Mr. Berry guitar and Maple, or could he have been trying to scope it out? I don't know exactly, but the whole idea that all this stuff is going on, and everyone seems to know, except, of course, for Plasmagica themselves and, Shingen Crimsons, but it seems like Maple, this Dr. Claw villain dude, even sort of the main chicken, the rival Far Eastern band that was in this episode, and some of the bands from previous episodes, they all seem to have a hint and an inkling that something's up with Shion, whether they know why she's here or not. Some seem to, some not necessarily. It remains to be seen. That adds a nice little twist of the flavor of this show. It's not just about these girls coming together and hopefully, winning a battle of the bands to come. Not only fighting off those dark forces that Shion herself promised Mr. Berry, the guitar, that she would. She made the pledge to help save this world from the darkness, but also people know she has power, people know she has prowess, and how's that all going to play out, with people vying for control of it. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Episode 4 of Show by Rock. If you've seen it, I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't, and, what you thought of the first 4 episodes of the series overall. So that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.